What's going on, guys? It's Fight Season MMA, and today I want to make a video talking about the UFC 308 main event. It's under a week away, and I want to talk about how Max Holloway can go in there and beat Ilia Topuria. I know that there's a lot of different individuals who truly think that Max Holloway has the best chance to beat Ilia Topuria over any other contender inside the UFC. Today, I want to kind of discuss those advantages Max Holloway has, how he could possibly go in there to dismantle Ilia Topuria and some different things, of how he can exploit some different things, and of truly why Max Holloway is one of the best inside the organization currently, considering that he is so fluent in everything he does. His volume is incredibly dangerous to go up against, and the biggest gripe about Max Holloway's game was his lack of power, but considering he's coming off two incredible KOs, I definitely think Max Holloway's power is better than ever. If you guys enjoy the UFC content, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. That is the best way to help the channel grow. And while you're down there by the comment section, please turn on the post notifications just so you guys are always notified when future UFC content releases daily. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video talking about Max Holloway beating Ilia Topuria and how he can do so. So Max Holloway is fighting the undefeated 15-0 Spaniard Ilia Topuria in the main event of UFC Abu Dhabi on October 26th. But how can Max Holloway get this done? Because he's got a lot on his hands. Ilia Topuria is an amazing fighter, and I'm actually going to do a video where I talk about Ilia's side about this later in the week. But how can Max Holloway go in there and beat Ilia Topuria? There's a couple things that Max Holloway is going to need to do. The first thing that he's going to need to be able to do is get out early and start snowballing Ilia Topuria and kind of put it on so much in the first rounds that Ilia's not going to have that much time to get back. In the first round with Alexander Volkanovski, Ilia Topuria was really having an issue with how many different shots Alex was throwing at him and of how he was keeping it in kicking range rather than punching range. And I do think that, yes, Volkanovski's chin is not nearly as good as Holloway, but I do think that Holloway's got to do a little bit of the same thing. He's got to keep this fight in a longer distance rather than a shorter distance, because Ilia is one of, if not the best, pocket boxers inside the UFC. Truly, Ilia Topuria can knock out any single person inside the organization whenever he wants to, and if he can get in close with someone like Holloway, I do think that he has an opportunity to do the same. So I do think that Max Holloway, if he's able to keep this fight and a little bit of distance and be able to stack up combinations really fast in each rounds, kind of like he did with Calvin Kattar, of how he just started snowballing rounds as they went in. He had a good round 1. He had an incredible round 2. He had a good round 3. He had an incredible round 4 and an incredible round 5. He's got to keep doing that every single time with someone like Ilia Topuria, because once you start letting Ilia get into the scorecards or get ahead, he not only gains confidence, he also becomes a way better fighter because he knows he can hurt you. Also, Max Holloway's got to go out there and throw a different variations of strikes. Yes, he's got to keep it a little bit at distance, but he's got to throw punches. He's got to throw side kicks. He's got to throw those spinning back kicks that Max Holloway's notable for. The more he changes up and switches up his different attack strategies upon Ilia, it's going to really help him to show and throw off Ilia's just kind of readings on everything occurring. Max Holloway, let's say, chaining together unconventional combinations is going to be something that Ilia hasn't seen. Ilia is incredibly smart, and that's something that not a lot of these individuals or fans of the sport understand. The way he cut off the cage against Alexander Volkanovski was incredibly high level, and that was something that not a lot of people understood, of how he was able to trap Volk. Volk is very fast. He was able to move laterally very quickly, but once he put himself in the cage on opposite sides of Volk, it was over instantly in that fight. So I do think that a Max Holloway can throw different aspects and be able to move wild around the octagon, use the space when he can, and take control of the middle part of the octagon and keep Ilia on the back part of his foot. He should definitely do so. And I know Max Holloway, the biggest thing that he cannot do is, I know he loves to point down at the ground. He had that incredible KO over Justin Gaethje, an incredible thing, and that was only possible since Max Holloway pointed at the ground to say that this is the BMF fight. You need to go do this. Ilia Topuria is a different breed in my opinion. Like I said, that pocket boxing is elite. And there's no way, in my opinion, that Max Holloway would be able to win that fight. And I know Justin Gaethje is a great boxer as well, but Ilia Topuria technically is one of the best boxers pound for pound inside the organization. The only technical boxer I would have over him pound for pound is Alex Pereira, and you would go look and see what he's doing right now. Ilia Topuria knows what he's doing inside and out inside the UFC, and truly, I do think that would be a massive fight that Ilia Topuria would be able to knock Holloway out instantly if they did point down and had a pocket boxing exchange. Now, not saying that Max couldn't win that, but I just like Ilia's chances more than Max's in that specific circumstance. I do think that Max Holloway is going to be this is going to be a lot closer fight than a lot of people would think. I know a lot of people are just talking about Ilia Topuria going to run through Max. I know Ilia saying that he's going to knock Max out in the first 10 seconds. I know that there's a lot of chatter going on in this fight, but I do think that this is going to be a 5-round war between these two individuals. One thing that Max Holloway has that is amazing is that gas tank he possesses, and he needs to put that on display at the forefront. Ilia Topuria has been 5 rounds once, and that was a fight with Josh Emmett that Ilia Topuria really took control of the octagon. Now, yes, he looked incredible inside the octagon fighting Josh Emmett, and that is one of my favorite fights of all time for an incredible boxing display put on by Topuria in one of the most dominant fights I have ever seen in an individual. I think my scorecard was either 50-43 or 50-42. Ilia, front to end, led that fight incredibly, but Max Holloway has got to push the pace. The one thing Josh Emmett didn't do in that fight is he didn't come forward that much, and he kind of was stood there to be hit. Max Holloway's got to evade. He's got to stay on his feet in the right fashion. He's got to do everything to get out the sights of Ilia Topuria and make this fight unconventional. I know Max Holloway's got the experience. He's been inside the UFC for 11, 12 years at this point, and he's fought some amazing names like Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje, Conor McGregor. He's fought so many guys, and I know if Max Holloway can use that experience and all that talent that he has bottled up away to be able to go up and win this fight and use every little thing he has, that's the only way he's going to beat Ilia Topuria. Ilia is a monster. He's actually one of the most complete fighters I think I've ever seen inside the organization. The way he has that Greco-Roman wrestling, the way he has that incredible striking. He is not only, in my opinion, a top 15 to 20 grappler inside the organization, he's a top 3 striker on top of that, which makes him some of the most dangerous. And like I've talked about with Ilia Topuria, is that confidence being overwhelming, and that's the thing that kind of pushes him constantly. But truly, I do think that Max Holloway is going to have to go out there and just make this fight dirty. Make it not a clean fight, because if you make this fight clean, Ilia Topuria is going to eat from your palm and really be able to go there and just absolutely just destroy you in that category. Max Holloway's got to go and make this fight odd, throwing different combinations of strikes, getting on his high horse and moving around the octagon. One thing Holloway has been truly prided for is that incredible cardio that he possesses. And I do think that that's going to be necessary to be put on in the forefront to be able to have one of the best fights that you could ever imagine inside the UFC organization. Max Holloway is so good, and Ilia Topuria is good too. But I do think that Max Holloway, if he's able to snowball his pressure, if he's able to use his gas tank, if he's able to chain together other combinations and strikes together, and he's not going into a close pocket boxing range with Ilia Topuria, I genuinely think Max Holloway has a genuine chance at winning this fight. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please let me know what you think down below in the comment section about this fight with Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria, and do you think Max Holloway is going to win? I truly think that this is going to be a coin flip of a fight. I would not bet on this fight at all. These two fighters are incredible with one another, and putting them together is going to only make one of the greatest fights the UFC organization has ever seen. I truly think, though, if Max Holloway is able to use those strategies that I kind of implemented, i.e. just his speed, his gas tank, his combinations, his IQ, his experience, he's going to be able to go out there and have an incredible chance against someone like Ilia Topuria. I do think that Max Holloway is an incredible fighter. I do think that he possesses everything necessary to become the UFC featherweight champion yet again, and I do think that this is easily the hardest fight inside the UFC featherweight division for Ilia Topuria currently. Well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Fight Season MMA, and please leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoy the UFC content. If you guys want to stay updated with the most recent MMA content as it releases daily, please turn on the post notifications just so you guys are updated when it does drop. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you guys very soon with more UFC content and news.